This is the rhythm of change. This is the sound of redemption. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. Igniting the fire within you. Exalting the melody of freedom. These are the things that will bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down. Rise up, people. No more foolishness, and let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down. Down. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout. Rise
Accountability
together.
starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up. Stand up, shout it loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday.
Yay!
TGIF.
Yes.
It is Friday. You know what? I didn't realize yesterday was Thursday.
What do you think it was Tuesday?
You know what, Diane? I was delirious yesterday. I tell you, man. I had just overworked myself, overtaxed myself, and I was stumbling and bumbling, and I had no idea what day. There have been few times that I have been that exhausted, where I pushed myself literally to the brink. There were a couple of times where Amina and other people were looking at me, and they were like, "Are you all right?" And then at one point, Amina had stepped out. I was in the house, and I was in front of the air conditioner because it was hot too. And I was in a chair, and I was kind of slumped over. And she walked in, and I had my eyes closed, but I could, you could feel the energy of somebody hovering over
Coming in the
you.
room. Yeah.
Right? So my eyes were closed, and even with the loudness of the air conditioner, I could feel like somebody. So I looked up, I opened my eyes, and she was standing there, and I'm like, "What are you looking at?" She said, "You look like you're about to fall out of that chair." I said, "I feel like I'm about to fall out of this chair." That's how tired I was yesterday. But as I text you guys this morning, I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go. So, much better. How are you down in the South?
Ooh, it's hot. It's hot and sticky.
You got your straw hat?
I don't have a straw hat, but I do have a white hat.
Okay.
It is hot.
Got your overalls?
No overalls. I don't do that.
Hey, so
That would be
Diane.
too much material.
Hey, Diane. So down there, right, when noontime comes, do you sip on mint juleps? What do you sip on?
Wine. Wine.
And do you wait till 12 o'clock?
At 10 a.m. No, we start drinking at 10 a.m. It's
vacation time, brother. What are you waiting on?
You know, I gotta tell you, I mean, I haven't been on vacation in maybe 5 years.
Oh,
right?
my God.
Well, mainly because of my health issue, right? So
Yeah.
that started
Oh, yeah.
a few years ago, and blah, 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 on and on and on. Anyway, my hope is, probably not this year. We may take a weekend thing, like a long weekend, and drive up to Canada in the fall.
If you're going to drive to Canada, then drive down here. It's much better.
Canada is 6 hours. Wait a minute. Canada is 6 hours to my
So,
south.
what's your point? Do it in 2 days. 6
Nah.
hours today, 6 hours tomorrow.
Look, if I'm gonna do a long weekend down south and it takes me 2 days to drive,
There
you
goes
do
the
math.
weekend.
So 6 hours. The thought is if we get up early, right? We drive up, we beat all the traffic, we check into a hotel, have a great dinner. What I love about my old Montreal is that even though like it's only maybe 6.5 hours away, right? You literally feel, I mean, I know it's a different country, right? But you literally feel like you're in a different country, right? Because you're immersed in the French province, and you just get it all. I mean, it's just beautiful, and the food is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So the hope is that we're gonna do that. But the last time I've been on a vacation to the Caribbean, we start drinking at like 8 o'clock in the morning. The rum punch starts flowing at 8 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And start flowing early. I know I'm very disappointed that we won't get my husband, like he's not flying for 2 years, but I might be on that same schedule because I really want to go back to the islands, but this is as close as I can get to it. But I won't be able to go to Jamaica this year, so that's disappointing. And I won't be able to get to Europe this year either. Also disappointing. Well, I went earlier this year, but I won't be able to go again this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, a lot of people I think will be taking more road trips than flying.
Uh-huh.
One to after the holidays, after Labor Day, go to Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is nice during that time of the year.
Yeah.
It is.
Crowded, and it's not crowded at that time either.
Yeah. Well, I hope that, now that things have relaxed a little bit. I've been on like a whirlwind the last couple of months, right? And I think that things have kind of plateaued for the moment, right? I think that the next tipping point, for the business will probably be late fall, right? But in the meantime, Amina and I are going to plan some trips to some vineyards, some local vineyards. There's some real nice places to go. I think there's one that I took a friend of mine to. It's called Three Sisters. I think that's the name of it. You know it?
I've heard it.
Yeah, it's incredible. They have a live band. They have some food. Not, it's not like about the food, but they have some food. But it really is about their wine. They have incredible wine, and then they have a great experience. You can actually stomp the grapes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, you get some nice vineyards in South Jersey. There's one up 78 in PA that's probably not even an hour away.
Uh-huh.
That's really beautiful. I went to, and they have like there's a train up there that take you on a little mini tour. You do like a little train ride and stuff on this really old, like 1800 train caboose. It's really nice.
Yeah, well, I just got to say, anybody who goes and stomps the grapes, just make sure you get a pedicure first. You understand what I'm saying?
You want none of that toe jam in your wine, huh?
Man, come on.
Yeah.
Come
If you
on.
don't have cute feet, I'm going to need you not to be on top of those grapes, period.
You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you can stomp some rocks, but not grapes. Yeah, so we plan to do that. One of the other big things that we like to do is, as often as we can, even if it's just for a little while every day, if we can carve out some time, we head down to Island Beach State Park. It's a lovely place to go. And, sometimes we just we'll drive down, we'll spend 2 hours on the beach, and then we'll head back. It just allows us to refresh. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to doing that, and there's some other kinds of things this summer. And like I said, next summer, things should be pretty much on autopilot, and I should be able to get away at least once or twice. We should be able to get away at least once or twice next summer. That's the plan.
With that and traveling, people haven't slowed down, even though coronavirus is kicking up.
True.
Are you not concerned?
Well, I don't know that we'll get on a plane.
Oh, no. I'm talking about wherever you go to.
No. Listen, Diane, I am getting, one of the things that I love is that I am a designer, right? And so I design my own stuff to say what I want to say to the world. So I have my socially distant shirts, right? The logo I designed. And I will be wearing my socially distant shirts. And I actually created a message and there are companies that you can go and get custom face masks, right? So I created a mask or a design for my mask that tells people to back up, right? So I'm gonna be well strapped when I go wherever I go, and I'll have all the signage that I need to let people know exactly where I stand. So no matter what your political leaning is, or how you adopt and or embrace these conspiracy theories, keep them all to yourself and keep your distance to yourself.
But do you think that being that we can do these custom masks, that some of them will soon get out of control and be abrasive, abusive,
or
I
believe that. Well, like anything else, like a T-shirt, right? So people take the take the liberty of using their T-shirts as billboards to say what it is they want to say, and we live in a country that permits that, and I'm glad that we do. And so they'll have whatever offensive things that they have on their shirts. I mean, on their masks. But look, as long as they have a mask on. You understand what I'm saying? So right, sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And your spittle can hurt me. So keep your mask on.
Yes, we did research the word spittle.
Okay.
Spittle, an old term, back in the age of Christ. Spittle, the term that came from people's mouth who had leprosy.
There you go. There you
Wow.
go. There you go. Cover it. Damn it.
Yep. And then spittle, that term then came into hospitals because it was the place where they put the people with leprosy, keeping them away and distance from everyone else, where their spittle would not, other people would not get a contraction or the leprosy virus through their spittle.
See how people learn stuff here? Make sure you guys share the show.
Look, whether they want to or not, right?
Diane, we force it down their throats. With the mask on, though.
The Eric Dawson Show, the wordsmith of the 21st century.
Oh, God, this is better than Ebonics.
So wait, speaking of Ebonics, well, you know what, maybe this is not a great segue, and please, I'm sorry that I even, but they're talking about the Black National Anthem.
Yo.
Yes,
at the NFL.
So they're talking about the Black National Anthem where?
At the NFL. At the NFL. Before the games. Just so you have the national anthem, right? So my thing is this. If you have the national anthem, I want you to understand this now. You have the national anthem, and then you have the Black National Anthem. What does that say? It says that we are separate and apart. I'm going to say it again. See, we have a national anthem, so this is the country's anthem. And this thing over here is for black people only. See, if we're truly a part, but if we are truly a part of this country, there should be one anthem. That's like saying you have the Constitution and then you have the rules for black people. Either, you understand what I'm getting at, Diane? So we should just have a national anthem. So maybe instead of having a black national anthem and the national anthem, we should change the national anthem to be more inclusive, you see, of everybody. So there's one anthem, but it's inclusive. But what now we have is this. We have the national anthem, and then we have the Black National Anthem.
So Ted Cruz calls a report of the NFL playing Black National Anthem asinine, because he goes on to say, so what are you going to do next? The Asian American?
Well, I agree with him. But that's what I'm saying. I agree. What we should do, but see, what Cruz didn't say is that we should get rid of the national anthem.
Oh, no. He didn't say that. He said we are America. So there is no need to get rid of it because we already have it, and it represents America where you're at. But I agree with him in part because we're always fighting for inclusion, but we're doing stuff to segregate ourselves.
No. But see, what we want is but here's the thing. Because of the structural, and we talked about this, right? The structural issues with this country, it all needs to be torn down. And so when we look at the national anthem, it was birthed from this structure. So we have to tear it down. We can't keep it.
What we're saying, what people are saying is, if you want the national, we should have the national anthem played, but that creates segregation. But you're fighting for inclusion. You're protesting for inclusion.
No. I don't know who. No, wait a minute. I don't know who's protesting for inclusion now. What people are protesting for, what they should be protesting for, is political and economic power, right? And
Not
they
saying
should
that.
be
They're
protesting.
saying stop the police brutality. That means include us like everybody else. Give us human rights and not having police brutality because white people are not complaining about it.
Right,
So
social
we need the
justice.
same that
Right,
they have.
but social justice, right? But that's not inclusion. It's just social
That is
justice.
inclusion. I want the same rights that you have. Include me in the same rights that you have. That's inclusion. But then you turn around and say, no. But I want the black anthem played because I want to stand out and be excluded from your anthem. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I don't
You
want.
need to make up your mind
I
which way
don't
you
want to
go.
be. Look, I don't want to be included because to be included means that we're going to keep what we have and you're just going to fold me into it. I don't
Well,
want
that's
that.
what they're doing. You don't think they're out there talking about, oh, we don't want the police to kill us anymore. But they're not saying that we want to change our educational system. They're saying we want better education. That's inclusion. You can't have inclusion and segregation at the same time. You got to make up your mind. Either you're too lazy to segregate and do your own, or you just want to push people who already have a system to include you in their system so that it's fair to you. Because
Right.
that's what they're
But
saying.
see, I wanna say
want
this
your
again.
system to be fair to me. That's inclusion.
So let's understand this again. And this is
Mm-hmm.
very interesting, right? So if we say we want to be included, that means that means that we're asking permission, right? So the people who are currently in charge, we're asking them to let us play in their game. Now,
No. See,
Yes, it
that's the whole thing is that you're both saying the same thing, just different parts.
No.
See, let's look at the national anthem. That was one of the biggest political fights of the 18th century because the national anthem, the original text of it was about segregation. He basically destroyed the blacks who were mercenaries during the time of their revolution. And he basically called them nothing. He called them nothing, pieces of trash, because they weren't going to sacrifice their lives to hold up a flag. And that became a political fight because we had at that time more black politicians who put up the fight, so it could not pass. They had to rewrite it. That's when James Weldon Johnson made the black national anthem that was more inclusive. But the whole thing is that we want, like Diane said, we want a level playing field. We want the same rights, the same treatment as everybody. That's the only way we're going to be true Americans or included into the American ideology of every man being free and every man working off of, prospering off of the sweat of his labor.
Well, and if that's what you want, then you need to go back. What needs to be done is you have to go back to the beginning, to when they created the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. That has to be changed. Otherwise, we are still working on the premise of being included into their system fairly.
See, because understand this.
That was another part of the historical fight. They did not want blacks to be included.
Well, that's my
in it.
point. And so what we've been doing is amending, right? Another amendment. So we have been like a footnote, right? So they created what they wanted, and then they've amended it, right? They've kicked the can down the road. They've made glacial changes, right? Compromises, right? What I'm saying is, no, we need to create something, not amend what exists. We need to create something that identifies Black Americans as being foundational to this country. Now, let's get back to let's go back to the national
So you say that we say that we go back to the beginning and we say we include Black Americans to be part of the foundation. So then you have the Native Americans. Then you have all the immigrants that are saying, oh, well, we should be a part of this too because this is what it's called, the United States all of the states are uniting, and we wouldn't be here because we're all part of the immigrants. Where does it stop, and who the hell is going to fight for us for our own independence? And that's again what we talk about.
Look, we got to stop waiting for somebody else to fight for
part
us.
of them.
Right. So we have to stop waiting for somebody else to fight for us.
There you go. That's the key.
Right.
We have to stop waiting for people to come and rescue us when we have the tools and the people to rescue ourselves. And you're both saying, again, the same thing. Except for Diane is saying that, no, the system works, just change the language to make sure it works for us as well. And you're saying, no, tear down the entire system. And Diane is saying that in tearing it down, then you go into that rabbit hole of, well, we got to include this group, that group, that group. No, make it as originally what they said. The biggest fight in getting the Constitution, again, was the language, where they wanted to exclude or not include people of other races.
Right.
And they had to change the language that say that all men. See, originally in the Constitution, they said that free men are created equal. The big fight because of, again, having those black legislators in there who said no, that therefore excludes us, and that gets us out, in which we are here, and we're not going anywhere. We were part of the building of this country. We need part of the credit, we need the recognition, and we need a level playing field.
Then that's the conversation. It should not be the conversation of police brutality. It should not be the conversation of improving our schools. It should be from the foundation of changing the Constitution.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But
people are not saying that, because you know why? Because you don't have people out there thinking that.
But we're saying it, right?
Because people are thinking separate but equal. Again, Jim Crow.
Right. We're saying here on this show, and to all of our informed listeners, we're saying we can't simply change it. It has to be built from the ground up. All new. See, it's got to be shaken to its core. Look, and I tell you, there's certain people that I listen to, and then there are things that they say that resonate. And Marion Williamson, she resonated with me. She said there is a moral turbulence. Understand what that means. There's a moral turbulence. Things will never be right here until you tear it down. It won't be. It won't be because everything that they do, every law that they make, every procedure that they follow is based on something that did not include us. Everything that they do.
Right.
Everything they push back to. Whenever they go and say, well, constitutionally, or constitutional scholars say, or constitutional whatever, when they all go back to that Constitution was not for us. Was not intended to include us at all. And so how can you go back to something, reference it, and try to create something good for me? You can't. You gotta tear it down. You have to do that.
Which is the brilliance of Brown versus the Board of Education. It used the constitutional rights of inclusion and showed that it was an exclusion. It wasn't it wasn't true to form for people of color. If we are therefore considered to be citizens, to be men, to be equal, and it states in the Constitution, the laws are not equal towards us, and that is what needs to change, is what Diane is saying. She's saying that, we don't have to buy a new Mercedes because we got a flat tire. Fix the tire, and it runs great.
So you cannot fix the Constitution. It is what it is.
No, that's not true.
That's the amendment process that Eric doesn't like.
You can fix it. You can fix it.
How?
If there's the political will. If there's the see you when you say how, what I'm saying to you is this: because we don't have economic and political power, that's why we're saying how. If we had true economic and political power, we could overthrow it and we could change it.
So the bigger question is, and what people should be talking about, also is a constitutional lawyer we elected to be the president that looked like us, that didn't talk about this to make change for us.
Well, he did. He just did it in very soft language that only very few could understand. And since a lot of people did not understand the language, the people capitalized on the ignorance of the people and kept pressing their agenda forward. What needs to be done, and what Eric, I agree with Eric on this part, we need a louder political voice. We don't need, it's going to take more than just one person. We have 4 days for our primary ballots to be sent in. 4 days. If we want that political power, let's start talking to people, calling people, all these listeners, tell people that we need to change now. We need to level the playing field. We don't need Black Lives Matter. What we need is a level playing field. The same justice system for everyone. The same treatment that the police do in the suburbs, we want them to do in our inner city. The same school systems and the high ratings that they have in the suburbs, we want in our inner cities. The same quality of food we want there. The same level of performance per pay per person we want. See, they have a way of changing the language to neutralize every movement. Henceforth, the women's rights movement. The language in that basically destroyed everything that they fought for. They neutralized the women's rights movement.
You know what? I'm going to put it to you like this. Because I've been trying to figure out how to simplify it. Imagine two people get together and they get married, right? But let's say the guy has a home, right, that he's been living in his own house, and he's decorated it the way that he wanted to, and and so let's say he's in his 50s, and he done everything he wanted to in his house. He created his man cave in his basement. He did everything. All the furniture is all his. And then this woman moves into his house that he has had all the rules of his house, right? It'll be challenging for her to move into that house and to get him to conform to different things. If they get a new house together, right? A new house. So they go and buy a new house. They sell that house. They buy a new house. All the rules now change. You see, but because you have all of the nuances of this old house, and it's difficult, I'm not saying it's impossible, but the difficulty, the level of difficulty is such that it is easier to just say, you know what, let's just go buy another house, let's sell this house, and now we can start all brand new. And that's what I'm saying. Sell this one, get a new one, and then we can start all brand new.
And then you go, all you do now is change the conversation, disagreements of the old house, and you put the same thing in the new house, in which one person is negotiating from a different level of strength or power.
Why? Why?
Well, here is, and let me give you an example. When I got married and I was a bachelor, I had a beautiful bachelor pad. My wife, therefore, when we got married, said, "Oh, sorry, we can't do that. We need a house because I have a child and we're going to have children."
Let's see through it. Right, go ahead.
So things had to change, in which when we got the house, there is no, I haven't found too many men that can stop a woman and making the changes in her new house, because she is going to be the one who takes care of it. She is going to be the one to decorate it. She is going to be one to perform those wonderful meals in which you will be greatly appreciated for. And she is the one in which you are building, sacrificing, and working to make happy or to please. So no, so all you do now is move from that argument from one place to now an argument in another place where that level of compromise has to be done. And the same thing that happened with the Constitution. It's too many compromises.
Right, but what I'm saying is this, right? You want to have people negotiating from a greater position of strength. See, right now there's a sense of ownership, right, and white privilege that exists with the current Constitution, with America as it is right now, right, which gives folks this false sense
level of strength
of being able to say to black folks or to anybody else who disagrees, well, then go home, leave. That's what they say, right? Much like this is my house, so leave. And I'm saying no, right? But once we say, you know what, let's sell this house. We're going to purchase a house together. Now, who tells who to leave? You can't tell me to leave because we purchased it together.
If I'm paying the mortgage, guess what I'm telling you? Guess what's going to happen? I now have the position of strength.
Right, but you're missing the point, Vincent. And see, I think you're missing the point, right?
I may be.
Right. So the purchase of the house is together. So now if you purchase the house together, who tells whom to leave? Right? See, right now, the house has been purchased. The house was purchased, right? So America was purchased, and there's a sense of ownership, right? Entitlement, privilege, which now gives them this false sense that they could say, leave. It's ours anyway.
True. Because of our present situation, white America has that position of negotiating from strength.
Had?
True.
Wait. You using past tense? Had?
No. I said presently.
Oh, have.
Presently.
Have.
No, they have.
Oh, I thought you said had. Okay, have.
No, they're negotiating because they have a position of strength.
Right.
And that's true. Now, what you're saying is that we need to now neutralize their strength by voting in people who look like us, who act like us, and who now have our agenda at heart.
No, what I'm saying, no. I'm being very clear about what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: the title to this house, if you will, right? Staying on this metaphor, the title to this house, which is the Constitution, right? We need to sell this. Sell it. Boom, done. Now we need a new title. We need a new house with both our names on it. Because right now only your name is on this one. Right? That's what we need to do. It all needs to come down. And anything other than that, listen, what Robert Taylor said when he called in a couple weeks ago now about us heading toward an apartheid state, but about us heading the way of the Native American, it's all true. Because we're trying to compromise instead of tearing it down. See, the Native American tried to compromise. And America was not interested in compromising. And they're still not interested in compromising. They want it all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, go ahead.
And what they want to do is give us crumbs.
Right.
From their
no,
table.
they don't even want to give us crumbs. No, that's not true. They do, because they need us, right? They need us to continue to be the commodity to their wealth. So they want to continue to marginalize us, yes, down to crumbs, and keep us barely alive on life support as we work to create more wealth for them.
Correct. Eric Dixon wants to know, how do we buy a house from a former slave master? We're not looking to buy that house, are we?
No, we're looking at taking it over. We're looking at saying, no, the war is over. There is reparations to be had for that, which makes us now property owners.
Right.
So we're looking to say that, okay, we're not looking to exclude you. We now want the house to include us. We're tired of being in the field working 12 hours. We need to be in the field working 8.
No, I don't want that house. No, I want to blow this house up.
Okay.
I want to blow the whole house up. I'm not sitting here trying to parse, oh, I get this bedroom, you get this bedroom. I'm saying, you know what, this whole house is disgusting. Blow it up. Now, you build a house, I build a house. There we go. That's it.
That's the way we were in the 1800s, which led into us not having enough support in the house that we built. And we did not have that support. We just kept focusing on the economic and stopped focusing on the political.
Well, that's why I keep saying we need
turned around and burnt down the Black
But that's
Wall
why I'm
Street.
saying that, right. But I'm saying that this house, right, if we learn our lesson, right, what does it say? If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So we need economic, what am I fighting for? Economic and political power.
Okay, so now let's focus on the easiest part to conquer, the political power. In 4 days, your primary ballot should be submitted.
That's not going to get, wait a minute, stop. Don't, Vincent, don't do that to people. Don't do that to people. It's not going to give them political power. Listen, the fact of the matter, wait. Let us be honest here, right?
Mm-hmm. Are we going back to Keep It Real Wednesday?
We can rewind to Wednesday.
Okay, so what's the goal? We burning down, we creating new, we pushing them out. What the hell we doing?
Oh, we burn it down. We're getting arrested. So what's the next step?
Right, but right now, let us be clear. Going and voting, and I'm not saying don't go vote. We should certainly go and vote.
Down line.
And we should vote down ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that will begin the process if we do that, right? Of removing, some of the people who are holding up the status quo.
So explain voting down ballot for those who are just listening and don't understand that.
So again, voting down ballot means that, all politics are local. Okay? All politics are local. No matter what they tell you about Donald Trump and blah, 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 all politics are local. Your mayors, what'd you call them, your freeloaders? I like that.
Freeloaders.
Yeah, your mayors, your freeloaders.
Angela doesn't like that very much, but let's not say.
Yeah, your assembly people.
Vote her out.
Yeah, your county freeloaders. All of these people, right, are responsible for your current condition at a local level. All of them. You can vote them out, and you can immediately effectuate change at the local level. Immediately.
Yes,
and so work to do that.
And then let's look at who are we voting them out to. There's no need of getting out of the frying pan and into the fryer with another politician.
Okay, that's true. However, if you continue to vote for the same people who are in there now, you already know what you're getting.
Correct.
You just got it. You didn't get anything. So now you're going to take a leap of faith and vote for somebody different. If Angela Garrison, a freeloader in Union County, is running, I'm going across the line to who's running against her, and I'm picking that person.
There you go.
That's it. That's how you do it. I'm going down the line. I see Donald Payne Jr. running for Congress. I'm going across his name, seeing who's running against him, and I'm picking that person.
That's right.
Because I already know what I got from them too. Nothing.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it.
It's not that hard. It's not like you go out there and you're really an educated voter. Sorry, people. You really aren't. You don't do your due diligence. You really don't. You go on name recognition. You really do.
Really do.
So this shouldn't be this hard this time to send a message that you are serious about change. Donald Payne Jr., go across that line, choose somebody else. Angela Garrison, Union County, go across that line, choose anybody else for her.
Right. So, Diana,
Mhm.
I entitled today's show, Put On Your Mask.
Oh,
Right?
I forgot. Cory Booker, vote against him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Whoever's running against them, vote against them.
so I entitled the show, Put On Your Mask. So, I'm saying to you guys, the plane is going down. And it's going down fast. So, to Diane's point, putting on your mask is you first. You first go and vote them out. Right?
That's right.
And then after you do that, go to your neighbors and tell your neighbors to vote them out. But, like they say on the airplane, when it's going down, put your mask on first. So, the question is, have you put your mask on? Are you voting them out? And then after you do that, are you going to your neighbors and telling your neighbors to vote them out? Because if you're not doing that, the plane is going to crash and burn. That's what's going to happen. Listen, the time is ticking. It is ticking. And only you can save you. Only you. They have no interest in saving you. They all have an interest in maintaining the status quo. And the status quo, data says, doesn't even suggest, it says that there will be zero wealth in the black community. It says we'll be in an apartheid state. It says that black Americans will go the way of the Native American. That's it. The formula's already been written. And only you can save you. So what you gonna do? So what you gonna do?
I'm saving myself, and then I'm saving the next person.
Yep.
And I'm encouraging them to do the same thing.
Listen, this isn't. Look. We talked about this the day before yesterday. We talked about, and yesterday I just didn't have the energy, but I was more disgusted than ever to see that All Black Lives Matter mural on Halsey Street. I'm saying they can't clean up the filth on Broad Market. They can't clean up the filth on these other blocks. I remember taking a friend of mine to go get a sandwich up on Hawthorne Avenue, and he talked about all the filth. And I'm watching these people walk with their children, right? We talk about these socially transmitted diseases, teaching our kids to walk and live and wallow in filth. But then we got a big mural that says all Black Lives Matter. Stop lying to yourself.
So it's funny that you bring that up, because I did post that on my page, and I was curious to see what people really thought about that. Why did we fall for, again, symbolism when, like you said, the streets are dirty, the school system is failing, housing is ridiculous, you can't afford to live here, but yet there were people, one that said, I grew up in Newark, I see Newark progressing, I wanted to take my kids down there so they could see this, because symbolism matters. It's important for them to be able to see it. And I'm just going to read some of the other texts. I got like 100 and some texts. What did they say? What Black Lives Matter doesn't have a plan to give the government to stop brutality. They thought that putting this down was symbolism to give people hope. They said, let me go back to the beginning. Then there were people, okay, here's another one. They talked about, oh gosh, it's a conversation.
No, but as you're going through it, Diane, I'm going to try to answer some of it. So,
go ahead.
See, we are, and when we talk about how they see us, right? They see us as emotional infants. They see Black Americans as emotional infants. When you look at how they portrayed us, right? Emotional, dancing, childlike. And so these symbols, right, are ways for them to tug on our emotional heartstrings, right? And so we're not going to give you anything tangible. We'll give you a holiday. So let's look at that, right?
Yeah. So we're going to sing the Negro spiritual
right.
At the football game.
There we go. So we gave you a holiday. What did it do? Tangibly. How did it move the needle? Right? They gave us a month, right? Black History Month. What did that do? Nothing. Right? They're going to let us sing the Black National Anthem. What's it gonna do? Nothing. They let us name streets after Dr. King and Malcolm. What did that do? Nothing. Now they said, you know what? Let's let these Negroes go ahead and paint up the streets.
Okay, so here we have, and I'll read their names because it's all public. Just Shady Lathan says, painting the streets is cute, but I believe we need actionable items at this point. No more blowing smoke up our butts.
There you go.
Another person said, Manira Bumani says, most of the North residents are brainwashed.
Yes, they are.
Donald Preston said, people know exactly what's occurring in their community. They just do not want to be reminded of it, especially those who are perpetrating the problem.
There you go. There you go. They want it. You know what it is? It's that blue pill. Give me the blue pill, right? Plug me back into the matrix, and then make me somebody important. And so now all of you are important because it says all Black Lives Matter. Get the
So Donna Beck says, because too many people don't know what real change looks like. So you can tell them that change is painting a street, tearing down monuments, or getting a check in the mail, and they'll believe it.
Exactly.
They don't know.
Come on, people. Finally, some people.
Getting that welfare cheese.
Yes. Wake up. Put your mask on. And then go put your neighbor's mask on. The plane is going down. Do you understand that?
One word or sentence in a law can bring real change. Or building companies that create jobs, or erasing student loan debt can bring change. However, the paint on the street offers hope, and we need that too.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't offer hope. What it does is it deflects. That's all it does.
It's a placebo. And it's a simple fact of, okay, here you go. We're going to give you this little symbolism that have hope. And then we're going to crush that because you're going to paint all Black Lives Matter in the street.
In a dirty street. Wait a minute.
In America.
Wait. You're going to paint it on a dirty street. That's what you're going to do. You're going to paint it on a dirty street where right around the corner, there are drug dealers selling drugs. But all Black Lives Matter. Come on.
And then you question that slogan.
And then here's the problem for me. You've got Negro whispering politicians selling this garbage to you. Come on. There's
and
no
they're working hard.
Don't step. All right, we can't talk over that.
You have Anthony Knight says that word gets thrown around a lot to keep poor people chasing that carrot too. Just another word right up there with chasing symptoms and celebrating symbolism.
True.
We want substance. Show me substance. Show me substance.
Show me some legislative change that proves that all Black lives matter.
Right.
Show me a politician who's not afraid of his position because the mainstream politicians are now rallying against him, who's going to push for that effective change that shows all Black lives matter. Show me a group of people that's going to stop sitting up there tweeting and texting and get off their butts and fill out a mail-in ballot and send it in. That's going to prove that all Black lives matter. Show me a person who's sick and tired of this and don't want this for their children.
Right. So listen, I'm going to say this again.
Go ahead.
To me, the biggest thing that's killing us right now is that we continue to allow this system to miseducate our next generation of would-be warriors. Right? I want to say that again. So if
could you quote Malcolm X for that one?
Listen. So because it gets better because there was a back and forth with myself and another young lady on here. Jazz B says, so collectively street artists can't come together and do this. This was a community back effort. And then she goes on to say, why does everything have to be made into a political agenda? Like, can't we just appreciate the effort by our fellow neighbors?
There we go. See, there's the nonsense right there.
The whisperer.
Wait. There's the nonsense right there. Right? So, while drugs are proliferated in our communities, while Black people are killing Black people, right? While Black kids are being miseducated about who they are and how they're foundational to this country, right? While all of that is going on, can't we just paint some painting? Okay. While this country that has had a brutal history toward black Americans are continuing to write policies that keep us down, can't we just go paint something? Wait a minute, listen. Somebody told me, Amina told me yesterday, she said she was in Staples yesterday, and she ran into a couple, and they were talking, and you know, she's a realtor, and they said that they were trying to move into an apartment in East Orange, and they had to do a background check on them. They did a background check, and because of something this black man did 20 years ago, when he was a young man, foolish young man, they held that thing against him. So now he couldn't move into this nicer area where he now wanted to maybe raise his children, right? He's now had to move into a different area where now he has to contend with drugs and other kinds of things. See, while that is still going on, let us go paint something. There we go. See, I'm done with all of that. I understand how systematically and structurally they are actively working to destroy us. I ain't got time to paint nothing.
So here's the last one I'm gonna give you on that side. Our children need inspiration and a sense of pride.
Oh God! You know what? If you want to give them inspiration, change the goddamn books in the school. Inspire them to know who the hell they are.
There you go.
What are we talking about? Are you kidding me? Stop it! Wait a minute. This is nonsensical. So while your children are being miseducated, they're not being inspired about the greatness of being black and what that meant to this country. You want to inspire them with what? With what?
Symbolism.
With what?
Here's the very last one. William Collins. The current movement is inspiring to people. The inspiration is resulting in decisive action, and the results of those actions are getting results.
Oh God. Oh God. Zero. Wait. Zero. Okay.
Listen,
You tell me.
Around the country is underway. No small accomplishment. Icons of institutional racism are being dismantled. Major corporations are committing millions to education, housing, and business development in black communities. Nothing happens overnight. The changes, and unfortunately, it took the death of George Floyd to ignite the spark.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
But it is in full swing here and beyond abroad for blacks worldwide. Indisputable progress is being made, but much work remains to be done. Let's do our part to uplift and contribute to the cause of equality.
Listen.
Now this is an old.
All right, this is what I say.
I agree.
1 second, and then you had a floor, Vincent. Right? All of this. See, you gotta know your history. Let's go look at the pictures and the videos of the civil rights movement. Right? People thought that there was astronomical change taking place. Right? They said, oh, we see black people being beaten in the streets. We see dogs being unleashed on black people, hoses on black people. We see marches and black people being beaten in the head. We see all of this. Change is coming. It's coming. Now, look at it. Go back to 1952 and the comments that Dr. King made about the 40 million poor people in the richest nation in the world. Look at 2020 now. Look at all of the homelessness. Look at where black people fall on every key indicator. And you tell me. So for the person who says, oh, change doesn't happen overnight. I'm talking from 52 to 2020, goddammit. Tell me how much longer. Tell me. Stop being so goddamn emotional. Oh, we got to get some paintings done. Oh, we got to have some inspiration. Oh, we got to feel good. See, I'm not here. I don't show up here every day for 2 hours to make anybody feel good. My hope is that people look and realize, based on data, pure data, Nothing that person talked about, Diane, is going to impact the racial wealth gap. Nothing that's happening right now. There's massive transferences of wealth happening right now. Right? And none of the paintings of murals, none of that is changing any of that. Not one bit. Not one bit. So, what are we getting out of it? We get to feel good. We get to go down and take some pictures standing next to the thing that says All Black Lives Matter. And then we got to roll our windows up on the way home because we might get carjacked. There
Now,
you go.
can I? You mind?
You got it.
Now, I agree with what he said. And let me break it down to you what he said. What he said is that
Of
this
course
is
you
the
do, 'cause you say that all the time that we progressing.
Yes, because it sparks a movement that's gaining traction.
Oh, God.
This is a great first start, and we cannot make drastic change overnight. But what we have to do, wait, let me finish, please, because I haven't even gotten into 1 minute of my comment.
But it's not the 15th start, Vincent. This is not our first start doing this.
Okay, this is our 15th start. Okay, but what we have to do is not let our foot off the gas. And I'm hoping that's what Eric is saying is motivating people to not let their foot off the gas. Change is coming. We need to be consistent. We need to persist in what we demand and stop accepting what they're giving us. They're just giving us the anthem. They're just giving us writing that in the street. That's not what we need. Now, it's a great start. Now let's move forward, and that's the end of mine.
It's not what we need. But when you have an abundance of people saying, "Oh, that's a great thing," because they're waving the flag and you got this shiny object in front of you, and they're distracted to what we really need.
Correct. I agree.
So that's the problem. We don't need any more stargazers. Stargazing is over. We can't handle anymore.
True.
Put us off.
And as Eric said, learning our history proves to us that we keep falling for, as Diane said, the shiny object and the distraction. Keep your foot on the gas, because the more we keep the foot on the gas, they keep their knees off our necks.
Listen. The mural on the street is the old banana in the tailpipe. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Come on.
Let's keep our foot on the gas.
Unbelievable.
Take your ballots. Vote down line, voting against everybody in this current system so that we can get new people in. Keep your foot on the gas by keeping in touch with these people that you have voted for. Let them know that you have voted for them and what you are expecting.
Listen, I want to ask you this question.
Not requesting, expecting.
What is the point? So I understand what they want you to believe, the point of tearing down these statues. And remember, we did shows where we talked about iconography and tearing down iconography, right, including white Jesus, right? But what is the point of doing that if you're not going to go in and tear out all of the literature in the schools, right? If you're not going to do that, what's the point of taking down the statue? What does that do? See, if you're indoctrinating if they're indoctrinating your children with poison, because that's what it is, right? They're weakening their minds. They're confusing their spirits, all right? But you're celebrating. You're driving them to school. You drop them off. Well, not now, because you can't go into schools. But you know what I mean.
Well,
what it does,
Eric, because I put that up there too. What's the point of taking down the statue? It doesn't change the history. One person says, I can say it's the statues that don't affect them personally, and the history remains the same. So our ancestors were treated horrible, and I don't care one way or the other. Our goal should not be symbolism. Our goal should be funding. Mm-hmm. Another person stated that put them in museums. The whole support of people being proud of being on the wrong side of history and showing fight for slavery and traitors is wrong. If that's not white privilege, then I don't know what is.
See?
Another person says it seems like more white people are going after statues than black people. Guess it is easier for them to tear down a statue than call it justice.
Bam!
And it is actually do something with real substance.
There you go. And that's what I'm saying. So they look and go, oh, you know what to make these Negroes happy? If we tear down these... See, because if we don't do this, if we don't start doing this, if we don't release the pressure, right, that pressure valve on the pressure cooker, right, that's this. So release some pressure, and so releasing the pressure is, oh, we're going to help y'all tear down some statues. Because you know what? If we don't do that, maybe they're going to come to our neighborhoods and burn down our houses. So,
That's right.
you understand?
What do they call that? Controlled... the police
Like a
department
controlled
has-
explosion, right? So we know they get ready to blow something up, but we're gonna control it so that it only affects this. And I'm saying no, we need to impact everything.
Here is what I see tearing down the statue does. Tearing down the statue is a first beginning in recognizing recognizing the problem. We cannot sit up here and immortalize bad people, racists, slave traders, people who were treasonous against the country, the United States of America, because they wanted to keep their free labor.
Got it.
Tearing down the statue.
Wait a minute. No,
let me
but I understand that point. Let me say this to you.
Why not just put up our own statues?
That's my point. So Vincent. So
I'm not
fine.
saying that we can't do that.
No,
But right
Vincent,
now, let's tear down the old one.
No.
Let us now go into the history
Vincent,
books and
Vincent,
change the history. Change
Vincent,
that false narrative.
Vincent.
Because it gives us a subliminal, it gives a subliminal thought to our children that power in America and the world is white.
Vincent, but why
Those
not just do
statues do
this?
nothing.
Wait. Why not just do this? Why not take the statue of say Christopher Columbus, leave it there, right? And then put a Native American that he's murdering, or that he, right? So let's tell the story. Tell the whole story though.
Tell
right?
the whole story.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, and that's what Diane's saying. So let's not tear down the statue. Let's make it truly representative of history, so people understand it, right? And then let's change the narrative in the books so that people understand it, right? So leave it there. I don't want to tear it down. I want people to know it. Know the history. Know what really happened. See, tearing it down, you're sweeping it under the rug now. And you're trying to emotionalize some people who are intellectually immature, right? And now they figure, oh, they tore it down. But we're still not telling the story. Tell the story.
Well, like I said, tearing it down is a great start.
No.
Because tearing it down takes that splinter out of my eye. Because my American Indian ancestry were not big fans of Christopher Columbus. So tearing it down gets that splinter out of their eye. Okay, because my history and my lineage of American descendants of slavery were not happy about Columbus. Tearing it down gets that symbol, gets that splinter out of my eye. Gives me the ability to say that, okay, we are working forward to righting that wrong.
It does not give us any economic growth. It does it does not improve our school systems.
Like I said,
it does not improve our housing. So tearing it down does nothing but pacify us.
It does pacify us.
Let's stop wasting time on stuff that means nothing and put more effort into stuff that we really know that will make transitional change.
I agree with that. Let's do that. Let's continue the movement. Now we tore down the statue. Now let's work on our school system. Let's work on our politicians. Let's work on our municipal government. Let's work on those freeloaders. Let's tear them all down. Down. They gotta go. Got to go.
Down.
Down. It's time for the new norm. Part of the new norm is getting rid of these symbolisms of white power and a false history. No way in history do you idolize a man who's a rapist and murderer and a guy who basically killed somebody under false pretenses so he could take his property.
But wait a minute. See, because when you say that, right, that we don't idolize those things. But now, right now, you've got black people saying to vote for a segregationist. See, See, wait. So now we confused. We are confused. Because we say, tear that down, do this, symbolism, all Black Lives Matter, all these things, right? We dialed in. But then somewhere, they're tweaking your brain. And the people I'm talking about are black elected officials. Tweaking your brain, saying, but vote for that segregationist. Call or go.
Good morning, Eric. Cobalt as well. This is Will
What's
Hathaway.
going on?
Big Will, what's up?
What's up, Will?
What's happening, man?
Hey, Will, you
Give it to
feeling
a big
love?
boy style. Could you help me out, Will? Well, what do you need, man? What do you, reference to this conversation? Yes. In reference to Christopher Columbus, well, listen. You know, you guys are making a good point, okay? But, you know, in West Orange, New Jersey, there's been some controversy of the Christopher Columbus, you know, statue. And there's some Italian Americans that are very upset with the mayor because I think it's on Valley Road or Valley Street. And there was an organization that bought the statue. They collected money or in reference to Christopher Columbus and all the statues. And so what I would do, you know, I don't really know the history of it, okay? I'm just seeing stuff, you know, that you know, through the protesting and all that, and Juneteenth. So let's make Juneteenth a holiday also, and take the either, you know, if people are so adamant about it, what are we going to do with the Christopher Columbus holiday?
Listen, I don't want no holidays. I want reparations. I don't want no holidays. I want reparations. Let me say it again. I don't want no holidays. We got enough goddamn holidays. I don't want no more holidays. I don't want any more trinkets. I don't want any more distractions.
So have you guys heard about the change.org petition where residents of some West Orange residents have petitioned the mayor's office in West Orange in reference to, you know, Christopher Columbus?
Yeah, look. You know, I've heard about all of this, man, and yes, Christopher Columbus, the murderous, raping SOB. Got it.
So take your holiday away, take the statues down,
and then what? Wait a minute. And then what? We still got failing schools. We're still in New Jersey, still the most segregated school system in the country.
Is, Eric,
what?
You know, we're voting for the primary this coming Tuesday with reference to Vincent was talking about, right? So let's show at the polls our real true battle in reference to voting. You know what I mean? Like Diane Murray Clemens out in Hillside, New Jersey. You know, she has, you know, her concerns about elected officials, you know, and you know, I voted, to be honest with you, I voted down ballot this election, okay? And that's for the first time I've done that, you know, because my concern is just, you know, we have a lot of issues as far as, you know, the George Floyd incident that needs to be corrected. The police in the community needs to have a better relationship. You know, it really bothers me when people take offense in reference to defunding the police. Okay, let's take some of the money and put into, you know, social programs where we can help homeless people. You know what I mean? I'm not against the police. You know, we can put money, you know, in their budgets and keep them going for the protection of our community. But you know, we have problems in reference to homeless. We have schools that need books and, you know, proper air conditioning in our school systems. So that's what we do come primary day and also on election day in November. We got a guy that sits in the White House that gives a shit, excuse my language, doesn't care about the people, but since he's been in office, he's created all this racism and plagiarism against the American people. And we have COVID-19 right now facing us, and millions of people died throughout America. And this guy is like Bill de Blasio. Take $1 billion away from the police department. Okay, we can take money away from the police department, but we can't really defund the police departments in this country because there's protection that needs to be in our neighborhoods for safety. You know, that's my feelings, brother. That's my feelings about it. Say it again, Eric, go ahead.
No, it's Diane. So, Will, I agree with you, but defunding the police department is not solving our problem. The problem we have with police are the police procedures and policies that are in place.
Exactly. So what we do is, Diane, we you know, like in Orange here, we have a police community council. Okay, there was a conversation in reference to a police review board, okay, in Orange, okay, and it was voted by some of the members of the council, okay, here in Orange. It's on first reading, okay. It passed first reading. So a police review board, okay, fine, okay, but our police department is not a bad police department in Orange. But you know, but my thing with the police is that there needs to be some community board that made up of residents, not outsiders, okay, to say, listen, you know, we just reestablished Councilwoman Jamie Summers Johnson, Councilwoman Adrienne Wooten. Wooten was just reelected to the city council. They're coming on with the mayor here in Orange to recreate the police community council, where members of our community and the recreation of some of the crime watch groups in our neighborhood. It comes down to this. We're not policing ourselves. That's the bottom line. We're not police. We need to police ourselves before we attack the police and conversations. And I'm not a police. I'm not for everything that the police does in the community. I'm a Caucasian. I lived here in Orange all my life. The incident in Montclair, New Jersey, where the white woman was accusing the African American people on her block because she felt that her fence line was not correct. I mean, come on, really? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So we need to stop the nonsense, be grown-ups about it, okay? I mean, there's a lot of issues here in America. We got COVID-19. We got people dropping. People are not wearing their masks, which Eric's topic is today. Okay, we're still walking around with no mask on, okay? Our governor in New Jersey here is doing the best he could to alleviate the problem. So that's all I have to about that. We need to stop politicizing in reference to, you know, the NFL, okay? Why don't we do both? Oh, hear me out. Why don't we do both? The black national anthem and the national anthem also.
All right,
So
then let's get the
what I have
Italians
on
in
this
there.
topic.
Let's get the Portuguese in there. Let's get the Asians in there. Let's get them all in there, and let's spend the entire 2 hours or 3 hours of the football game playing all of the national anthems for everybody. I say the fact that we have to do that indicates that there is something fundamentally wrong. Fundamentally wrong.
There is stuff wrong, Eric. You know what's wrong? We're not voting in the way we should be voting. You know, there's issues in reference to education. People want lower property taxes. Get out and vote. Put your mail-in ballot in the box and go out and vote.
There you go.
That's the bottom line.
There you go. There you go.
That's the bottom line. And I take it this way. We here in Essex County, you know, I believe there's mailbox drops in the city of East Orange. There's you know, to go to your local. I believe there's one in East Orange City Hall. There's one in Newark City Hall. There's one in Montclair where people can go to the mailbox and drop their mail-in ballot box. So what is the problem? I don't understand it. What is the problem? Where county officials have made it obvious where We giving you the locations. And Miss Murray, it is on Facebook, and you can share it. We have one in Northeast Orange, Montclair. We can go to the mail-in ballot box. These are boxes sponsored by the county, okay? And you can go to the mail-in ballot box and drop your ballot, man.
Or you could drop it right in the regular mail. Absolutely.
Well, the regular mail is messed up right now.
Well, we're not going to say that. The mail.
That's a whole show.
It's a whole other show.
I trust the postal mail service more than I trust the county putting boxes out anywhere.
and if I could build on what Big Will was saying, we've got a whole lot of issues, and we have to take it one step at a time. And we keep progressing, keep our foot on the gas. Okay, we can push for lower taxes, which is needed, because everybody is tired of losing their money on taxes that are going to waste.
May I ask you a question? Okay, you're from South Jersey, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so you might have issues that affect, all over the state, Eric. We have many issues, and all politics is local, okay? But we're not getting out to vote. We're not. The numbers are not there, okay?
No.
So the numbers are not there because, so for instance, I'm going to take, I think there's a physicology where when more people go out and vote in your communities, the more that they get from the county or the federal government. You know what I mean?
True. Yes. Well, that's the census.
That's how it is.
That's the census.
If people live in, say, for instance, I'm going to give an example. Short Hills, okay? We have about, Short Hills is, I don't know what the population, but Orange, East Orange, and North, okay, we have bigger populations, okay? And we're not wearing our masks. I mean, we're walking over the place. All we're doing is carrying a mask when we go to the grocery store, pharmacy, and we're not wearing it walking down the street. But it takes the brunt. We have to police ourselves on everything.
True.
But I'm saying that you guys have a nice weekend. Be safe out there. Just please be safe. Eric, I commend you, man, because the peach cobbler. I'm going to get some of that in ShopRite in Bloomfield, man. I like that.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I got some the other day on Central Avenue where the barbecue pit.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got it, man. It was delicious, man.
That's a
when I get that peach cobbler, I got to get 4 at a time.
It's addictive.
But what I'm saying is, though, I'm passionate about my community. Guys, every time I call the show, it seems to be that I'm a passionate committee person, and I'm a district leader here in Orange, and we just try to keep people safe. That's the whole thing about it. I don't understand where we have all these issues. It's good protesting. We had a major protest here in Orange a couple weeks ago, okay, and it went well. We had a young lady that lives here in Orange, and she started a organization called the Black Committee Incorporated. They had 2 kickball games with the police. We had community people come out. It was in Orange Park, and that's what it's all about. Keeping safe during COVID-19, and with all this craziness with the fireworks, we need to police ourselves. During these times. Eric's topic of the show. Wear the mask. I wear it every day. Every time I go out that door, I wear it because it's protecting me. I got tested. My test levels came back negative. We've been testing here in Orange from the beginning, and now we're having some testing done. I believe starting on Monday again. There's a local church, my Olive Church here in Orange. They're doing some testing. So we're just trying to keep people safe and enjoy your weekend, and let's all be safe out there. And I thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on your show today, Eric.
All right. Hey, I see Vincent gave you a new name, so I'm gonna start referring to you.
What's my new name, Vincent? What's my new name, man?
Big Will.
Big Will.
Big Will.
Give it to him, Big Will style.
All right, bro. I'll let let you guys go.
All right, brother.
I'll
Have a great,
show.
have a great,
All right, bye-bye.
great weekend, and have a safe 4th of July. You know what? We should be doing the show on. Who was it? James Earl Jones did a beautiful rendition, and we did it last year, where he was asking the question, do you seek to mock me? When he was talking about the 4th of July and what it meant to the slave.
Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
Was it?
Well, no, yeah. He was doing.
He was doing Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass, and I should have. I wish I had that, because I would play it. But these are the kinds of things, right? So when we're talking about tearing down so here's the nonsense. Now you got me on it again. So if you listen to the national anthem or you read the lyrics, and it talks about the bombs bursting in air, it says gave proof through the night that the flag was still there, right? What flag? The flag that symbolized the oppression of black people was still there. So they were grateful that through all of this, that the flag was still there, right? Over the land of the free. Who was the free? Not black people. And the home of the brave. Not black people. So they were celebrating that. And now we go through our neighborhoods. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago, or last week, right? All of the fireworks going off, right? So black folks running around in preparation for the 4th of July, shooting off fireworks. See, when we talk about symbolism, iconography, like we're confused. I'm telling you. And so now we'll be celebrating the 4th of July, right? Do you seek to mock me? See, and so beyond the 4th, I asked the same question about the goddamn mural. Are you mocking me? I'm asking the same thing about, see, Diane, I'm where you are, right? So while you want me to be titillated by the fact that you want to tear down Columbus's statue, but that you don't really want to deal with the structural issues that have kept me and mine marginalized for generations, are you mocking me? Is that what you're doing? When you put on this fake kente cloth and you take a knee, you see, are you mocking me? See, I take offense at it all because I know the history of this country. And I know the history of those who have been in positions of decision making for decades. And that they knew all of this and did nothing. And now they want to mock me.
Yeah. They want to slap you in the face. That's what that whole thing, and this is my opinion, Eric, that's what that whole thing is with the statues. They mock us. They slap us in the face. Christopher Columbus, General Lee. In fact, in Richmond, Virginia, General Lee's descendants have been petitioning to take that statue down. Yet they mock us with symbols of these guys who are supposed to be heroes. And in reality, they were traitors to the United States. Mocking us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the statue mocks me. I think that I'm
it may
speaking
not
for
mock
me.
you,
I'm speaking for me. It doesn't.
It may not.
Look, that statue hasn't done a goddamn thing in terms of preventing me from doing the things that I need to do. What has
But that
prevented
statue
me?
represents.
Okay,
has
but you
been
can't
a-
talk. Okay, I'll let you talk,
Go
and
ahead.
then go ahead. You
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, and then I'll say what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Mocking me because that statue represents a lot of oppression that has been happening to my family and my group because of that man. And I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Got that. What I'm saying to you, for me, the policies are what are impacting me, not the statue. So when you tell me that you want me to focus on the statue, and then you say I'm going to help you take the statue down, right? But I see that you are still upholding the policies that are keeping me down. Are you mocking me? You see, because you're not going over here to help tear the policy down. You want to come over here and say, hey, Eric, you know what? Let's get this statue down. That'll make you feel better, right? See, that'll make you feel better, right?
Right.
But the policy, see, when I need you on the line with me to get the policy taken care of, you know where to be found. But you're going to come and help me take a statue down if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Are you mocking me? Are you mocking me?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hoping that you're dumb enough not to recognize the fact that I'm mocking you. Because that's what it's all about. It's not the fact that they're doing it, it's the fact that we're allowing it. It's not the fact, see, my grandfather said, son, you teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
And that's what we've been doing. We have been teaching them how to treat us. They don't care. They don't want to care. And all they do is give us crumbs from the table to satisfy us. Every now and then they'll elect a slave whisperer who's going to continue on that same failed ideology or ideology that is failing us. Yes, I'm mocked, and I'm tired of being mocked. I'm tired of paying high taxes for a group of people who waste my money. I am tired of my child being in a school system that gets over hundreds of millions of dollars in budget, yet fails these children every day. I am tired of politicians giving me political platitude of, yes, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to take care of that, and they do nothing. Yes, it mocks me. It rocks me to the core of my existence. It's everything that I stand for and believe in.
So did you guys, did you happen to, Diane or Vincent, the video I sent you guys of Stephen A. Smith?
No.
I don't know if you watched it. So
No.
Stephen A. Smith was criticized because of his comments about Kyrie.
So what was Kyrie's comments that Stephen A. Smith is now commenting about?
So Kyrie said essentially that he wasn't going to play, and that that no black players should play in the NBA, and that maybe they should consider, I guess, their own league. Oh, I don't know who that is.
That's me.
Okay. And then Stephen A. Smith, commented that was irresponsible, and that Kyrie didn't really understand what he was talking about. And I listened to what Stephen A. Smith said, and I agree with him. I think that some of the, anyway, I agree with him. What he was saying was this: look, you got to have a plan, and your plan can't simply be, I'm not going to show up at my job. When you understand the collective bargaining agreement in the NBA, and you understand the total impact of what's going to occur, right? The tens of thousands or more jobs. So it goes beyond the players, right? It goes to the families of those people who work concessions, right? The concession stands. It goes to the guys who come out, or women who come out and wipe the floor after the NBA player falls on the floor. They clean up the sweat. All those jobs. See, so when you make a statement that says, "Well, this is what we're going to do," what is the plan? What's the plan? See, this is again just being emotional without having a plan. There's no plan. And that's what Stephen A. Smith was saying. And I agree with him. We got to stop being emotional. You got to have a plan. It's not enough to just say, "Oh, I'm not going to play." What does that
I
mean?
agree, Eric, with the theory of the loose cannon. And that part is very true. But I do not agree with him adding in the emotional value of all those people who are going to lose their jobs. Let's look at it. All those people are going to lose their jobs, and their jobs are based upon the exploitation of these particular black people. So if these people are saying that I no longer want to be a slave, I want to be a free man and free thinking, and then that is up to him.
But
right.
understand this, and I get it, right? But a guy like Kyrie, or you take other well-paid athletes in the NBA, right? They may have the luxury of doing that. But what about the person who's marginally paid? Right, so what's the plan? I'm saying, just give me the plan.
But marginally paid in the NBA is $2 million a year.
What?
It's not about the money. Kyrie wasn't expected to come back. He was already hurt. He was talking shit, and it is what it is. So I don't know why you're putting so much weight on what he says, because they never expected him to come back and play.
Well, that's my point. But that's my point. So, but his words are meant to impact other people, right? And I'm saying, what is the overall plan? Give me the whole plan, not just that. Oh, we shouldn't do this. Okay, now what? Now what should we do? And then how is this going to happen? Roll it all out. Roll it out. Roll it out for me. See. Are you gonna go into your pockets, Kyrie? And for those black folks who work the concession stand, are you going to pay their rent and their mortgage? That's how it's going to work. I need to understand it, because your mortgage and rent is, or your mortgage is still going to be paid for, right? Your car notes on your expensive cars are still going to be paid for, right? What's the plan? And I think that's what Stephen A. Smith was. What is the plan?
See, that's the part that gets me, is the fact of bringing in the emotions of these people with entry-level positions. And keep in mind, there's only 3% of the employees that aren't playing that actually have full-time jobs. The rest of them are temporary, subcontractors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So, let's look at this. There is a huge level of unemployment. In fact, unemployment now has dropped because only 1.4 million people had done first-time filing. So, those people can get another entry-level position with their experience. But we'll discuss that on Tuesday when we speak to our employment specialist. But let's look at the simple fact of what he's saying. Yes, he was hurt. Yes, he's not expected to be in the NBA again. So for Stephen A. Smith to actually make a comment on that, that's platitude. He's placating to his masters, or he's placating to the mouse, because the mouse right now, the only thing they've ever did to recognize the simple fact that Disney was built upon the backbone of the slaves is saying that, okay, we're changing the runaway train because it represents the slavery of, Uncle Remus? But yet, they're still making money because the NBA is now in Disney's facility. So who is Stephen placating to? He's not doing it for people who are suffering. He's doing it for the mouse. He's not doing it for people who are losing their jobs. He's doing it for him who may lose his job. The hell with him.
All right, then. So, this conversation is still going back. Well, a couple things. States are seeing record numbers of COVID-19 cases. hospitals are on the verge of being overrun again in Florida and Texas, right? And PPEs are becoming a big issue. What the hell? So we haven't resolved the PPE issue?
No, we haven't. The only thing that the PPE issue has now moved from New York to Texas, Florida, Nevada, and those other places that close late and open fast. So now they're experiencing it. In fact, Dr. Fauci said that we are less than 2 months away from this being a not catastrophic, but apocalyptic in terms of our failure. We're now looking at the point of us doing all of that closing, distance tracing, tracking, sheltering in place to now that wave coming back to the north because it's hitting the south and the west. So do you
believe now, what do you do you believe that this apocalyptic prediction is going to afford the political will for politicians to mandate mask wearing now?
Well, yes, because here's the big issue that we have with the COVID-19. And here's the big issue that we have with people wearing their masks, is that it stopped being a issue of safety, and COVID-19 protection and awareness has now become politicized. We have now divided the people's mindset from their best interest to now so that they can now partisan, political, and cronyism, and it's killing people. Our failed ideology as politicians have now come to the point of us failing America and people dying. And it should not be that issue. You can say all you want about Murphy and Cuomo, but they did put politics aside to do what was best for their states. So you can kiss my behind with all of that, oh, this isn't happening. Oh, you don't need to wear a mask. Oh, the president doesn't wear a mask. Because every time I turn around, we're looking at places where people gather. Oh, by the way, the black Republican and his family now tested positive for COVID-19 for being at the president's rally.
Wait a minute, did his family test positive too? I know we're talking about what's his name? Herman Cain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he and his family?
Well, they're not mentioning the family, but my sources say that he's got some family members who are close to him that actually have it too. So you're looking at you're looking at the jackassery of politics now affecting the lives of people. And you tell me every member of his family has the same health insurance that he has to cover that $1.1 million bill when they go to the hospital. You tell me his family is going to get ventilators when they need them, when everybody else is screaming for it, or a hospital bed when hospitals are filling up. You tell me the jackassery of politics versus somebody's life. He's another one that needs to lose his job for being stupid. How in the hell are you going to side with the safety and protection of your family for political gain, which does you nothing? Because every November we change power. Every November you can lose your job, and you're on the wrong side of history with this one. The total wrong side. All of a sudden, a man who had no recognition and being the only black senator and the closet senator, because they didn't talk about him until he needed a black face. Now, all of a sudden, he shows up, him and his family, with their Donald Trump signs. Look where it gets you. Look at these idiots right now having a COVID-19 party. First one to catch it wins the money. Because that money going to do when you're dead. Please, people, stop being such jackasses. There is nothing more important to you than your health. And for a man, there's nothing more important than keeping your family safe. Not politics, not the president who wants to be the divider in chief and the liar in chief. Not these people who are coming up here with this false rhetoric about the mask and protecting yourselves. No, you protect yourself and you protect your family. I don't care who you are, black, white, or whatever. You protect your family. That's what every man should be doing.
So what else is news, guys?
Oh, the liar-in-chief said that the Russians putting a bounty on American soldiers' lives is fake news. American intelligence. First he said that he didn't get the brief. And they said, yeah, you got the brief. You just don't read the briefings.
Right.
Then he said, okay, it's fake news.
Yeah.
Which sources, very reliable sources, have been proving to American intelligence that this is happening. And they've talked to some captured, what's the name, Taliban, who have said the exact same thing. Yet every time that we go up against the Russians and that the Russians do something, he comes up with fake news. This is every time that there's an issue with the Russians, he has sided with them. He is selling America out to the Russians.
So there's a I was listening to one of the news stations this morning, and they were saying that there is a belief that Donald Trump at this point doesn't believe that he can win, and that he's going to actually, instead of suffering what they predict, jury's still out as far as I'm concerned on this, but I'm just reporting what I heard. They said that they believe that this is going to be a monumental landslide, and that Donald Trump, to avoid the embarrassment, is going to bow out, almost, claim just before the race a hamstring injury. And then, you know what I'm saying, Diane?
I think he's too much of a narcissist to do that. It would kill his ego.
I agree with Diane. I also believe something Diane said a couple of days ago, that Donald Trump may be engaging in a scorched earth policy. If he can't win, he's going to make sure that America goes down in flames. Because you look at it, sources also say that he has close to $400 million in Russian assets and property. So look at the motivation of this guy. You look at his campaign and his policies in his tenure as president, everything that he has done has been towards, one, advancing the Russian cause, and two, advancing his financial gain and wealth. So you're also looking at the simple fact that when he does lose this election, New York is right now ready to prosecute him. And keep in mind, we still haven't seen his taxes.
But wait a minute now. So New York wants to prosecute him, but what if he moves to Russia?
Well, I think there's always that possibility of us, since he is now being prosecuted and he's no longer commander-in-chief, and there's no shame in an ex-president going to jail, that could very well happen for him. So, if as soon as the election is over and the subpoena hits him, he can be held. Keep in mind, he also has government protection that is supposed to be with him for the rest of his life. There is no change in someone contacting one of those Secret Service agents and saying, bring 45 in. So we're looking at the future of Donald Trump and this going over, and maybe him going down in flames. But the best thing right now is, I understand what you're saying about bringing in the next crook, because Biden doesn't have a squeaky clean record. But let's look at it in life, who truly does. But we need to vote in anybody but him at this point.
Yeah, I'm still at the point where I don't think either of them impact me. So Diane.
Yep. So
are you ready for your wine, or did you already start?
I've already started.
So I'm looking at the time. I'm like, okay, it's almost 12 o'clock, but you might be 2 or 3 glasses in by now.
No, I'm only one glass in. I've already started because I have to go out. We just got our golf cart delivered to us so we can peruse around the island. And we go pick up our bikes in a couple of days.
Wait a minute, let me ask you a question, Diane. Do you have those tandem bikes?
I don't know what's that. The one that you ride together?
Yeah, that's connected.
Okay, so yeah, we did that one time, and that was not very productive because I thought he was going to run me off into a marsh, so I was too scared. I said, yeah, I don't want to do this again. It was fun for a little while, but for the most part, we only kept it as long as we rode it to the house and right back to the bicycle place.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, no, we did the regular bike. They had, the traditional bikes with, little handbrakes and the bell and the basket and all of that.
Okay.
Oh, you got to take a picture of that, Diane. That's too
definitely.
cute.
I'll send you a picture. We're going to ride down to the lighthouse because there's a lighthouse here on the island because where we're at is right off of, I'll tell you, it's St. Simon's Island in Georgia. It's right off of Brunswick, Georgia, at the coast. And Brunswick is one of the largest ports here, so they bring in a lot of, they have the shrimp boats and stuff like that here.
Yeah.
So, and they do a lot of crabbing right on the pier. So we'll go down there and hang out for a bit. And I'm doing my second pastime. So my first pastime I love is gardening. Well, I guess this is my third because first is politics, then gardening. Now I'm doing my scratch-offs. This is my big thing. This was like a thing me and my mom used to do when we drive south. Stop at every state and pick up scratch-off tickets and lottery tickets. And then win and forget to cash them in as we pass back through the state. But, so that's what I'm doing now before we prepare to go out. Because it is a scorcher out here today.
Yeah, when I was in Georgia, we didn't go out on it. It was a scorcher and very humid. We didn't go out until after 4.
Yeah, it's very humid. We go out early morning to walk the dog, but we got out late this morning, like 8:30, and then we'll go out. We're usually in and out. The good thing about it is the air conditioning system is always fabulous here in Georgia, so coming back in is fine. And then we have because we rent a house, we also have shaded areas and stuff for the dogs where we can sit outside in the yard. Very humid, but we still have it.
So what's the drive down? How long was the drive down?
The drive is normally from Jersey, from my house in Hillside, to Burlington, North Carolina, is 8 hours. Then another 2 hours to Charlotte. So we did 10 hours yesterday. We broke it up. And then from Charlotte to where we're at is another 5 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. But that's because we took 95 to 85 and came through the middle of North Carolina. If we normally just stayed on 95 and didn't stop and came straight down the coast, it would have took us 12 hours straight.
Yeah.
But I try not to do more than 10 hours of driving straight or 8 hours, between 8 and 10 hours. Because after that, you become extremely exhausted.
Right.
So it's too much.
Who does most of the driving?
Me. I do all of the driving.
Oh.
You do?
Yeah. Driving is very relaxing for me. And because my husband works sales, his phone is always ringing. So I feel safer driving while he can work.
So who gets to choose the music?
Oh my God, he chooses the music, he chooses the temperature of the car, he chooses the snacks. All I get to do is drive. He even chooses which lanes I get to drive in, because he asked me, why do I always drive in the left lane? He said, people drive around us. You're supposed to drive to the right, pass on the left.
You know what? Yeah, see, can I tell you something about that?
Yeah.
When I first got my driver's license, they taught that, right? That you drive in the travel lanes, and then you move to the left lane to pass, and then you move back to the right to the travel lanes. And then you're not supposed to pass on the right. Those are the rules.
Right.
And when I first got my license, I got a ticket on the turnpike for driving in the left lane. Because there was nothing there in front of me, and I was just cruising in the left lane, and up comes a state trooper, pulls me over, gave me a ticket for driving in the left lane. Right? Now you see people driving in the left lane, driving wherever they want to drive, and state troopers are there, nobody's stopping anybody. And I think it creates a tremendous amount of traffic jams, because you have slow drivers in the left lane driving, then you have slower drivers in the right lane driving, and then you have people who are responsible drivers trying to figure out how to navigate, and then unfortunately sometimes they got to go into the right lane to pass the driver in the left lane to move back over.
Okay, so it's never safe ever to pass on the right lane. You have to figure out how to get to the left. In the right lane, I'm sorry. In the right lane, you have to figure out how to get to the left. In Georgia, they actually have signs that even tell you, and I think they need this everywhere, about passing trucks, 18-wheelers, and how far to go ahead of them before you get back in front of them. Because some of them will cut them off. And trucks can't stop on a dime.
Right.
So usually you have to do 5 or 10 cars ahead of a 18-wheeler before you get back in front of them. But I'm not going slow in the left lane, I must tell you. So if I'm doing 70, 75 in the left, and you got to go around me, that means you at 80, 85. You're going too fast. So that's one thing. So he tells me about which lane to drive in. He also tells me about tailgating trucks, which I don't do, but he still thinks I do it. So I get to drive. That's all I get to do.
All right. Well, listen, I want you guys to have a safe and fun time.
Yeah, thank you.
And, the book.
Oh, the book. Don't forget the book. Next Thursday, we're going to be discussing When Affirmative Action Was White by Ira Katznelson.
I'm ready.
Oh, you better be ready, because I'm going to be ready, too. I'm already, I'll be gassed up and mad again.
No, yeah.
So I'm ready.
Yeah.
Where are you at in the book, Vincent?
I am finished.
Oh, excellent. Okay. All right. So we'll all be ready, guys. I hope you will be ready. I don't even know what to say about the 4th of July.
So 4th of July, social distancing, wear your mask, don't have parties, stay at home with your family. Family meaning the ones that live in your house, not your cousins, sister-in-laws, and all them other people. The people in your house, and be safe.
Oh, I gotta say this. Some people have been asking me where to get what everybody wants the watermelon with the black seeds, right? Black seed watermelon. There is a right by what's that? Valesburg Park, right off.
The guy inside the park. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, no. You know, the older guy passed away.
Oh, he did?
His son is there.
Okay.
Right? And you can get the watermelon there. So go there and patronize him. All right? So you want a watermelon with black seeds, you can go there and get one.
And he also has the beautiful house plants too.
Yeah, I may go get a black seed watermelon today. Hey guys, stay safe. Social distance. Put on your mask. I'll see you Monday.
Absolutely. All right, take care.
Take care.
Enjoy.
Vincent?
Okay. Hey.
Vincent, are you still dosed up? The message is wearing off. What's going on?
No, I just took a dose about an hour ago. It's kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, be safe. Like Diane said, just celebrate with your family. As Eric said, stay safe. Be careful out there. There's a lot of crazy people. And if it's God's will, we'll be back Monday to discuss with you some of the greatest issues that are attacking